Good day, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Albino Rhino Beer Review. Today you have the Rhino, where we're looking at a beer from... the fuck? Better Brothers. Okay, you know what? If I was the guys in Guelph, I would be angry by this, because, you know, Brothers Brewing is pretty good. I don't know if I would... who says you're the Better Brothers? Who says you are Better Brothers? Did you make a pumpkin ale out of a giant, 200-pound pumpkin, and then hollow said pumpkin out and put the keg of said pumpkin ale inside the pumpkin and serve it from said pumpkin? Because they're the Better Brothers, in my opinion. Oh, I don't know. Maybe you did the same thing. I don't know. Do you ride a tandem bike? I don't know. Maybe you do. Maybe you are Better Brothers. I don't. All I know is this is a West Coast IPA that's 7% alcohol, and I've been trying not to drink it. And there's no real reason I've been trying not to drink it other than it's 7% alcohol. I'm not a big ABV guy anymore. As I get older, I'm looking for lower and lower and calmer beers. And this just is not it. But let's try it anyway. So Better Brothers Brewing is Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. For the most part, if you have a brewery in Saskatchewan, you can probably guess that it is either in Regina or Saskatoon. There is, I believe, one in Prince Albert. And there's a couple around the province in Nokomis and places like that. There are also breweries. So it's not like they're only in Regina and Saskatoon. But that's the majority of your breweries is Regina and Saskatoon. I believe there's one in Moose Jaw, but you can't visit the brewery. So I don't know enough about the way licensing and everything else works in Saskatchewan. I've been trying to get a interview done with my buddy Chris at Regina Brewing Company, but it's just never panned out yet. Other than him, would love to do a get to know your local brewer segment at all the breweries here, just to have fun, let people see who was behind the brewery, that type of thing. But again, I had a name in Ontario. I was known in Ontario. I don't have a name here. I'm a nobody. And that's okay. That's okay. I'll just sit in my basement and drink Better Brothers Brewing Company's West Coast IPA at 7% alcohol by volume. Love the color. A little bit of haze to it. Beautiful color, though. It is a nice amber hue, slight off-white head. The head has staying power. It does have a snap, crackle, pop. Though it is a lot more minuscule than I'm used to for head that vibrant. Scent from the can. It has an alcohol astringency. I'm not 100% sold on that smell. There is an alcohol astringency, but there is a nice alcohol astringency, pininess, but a nice sweet fruitiness. I would say more along the lines of stone fruit, but very overpowered by piney, resiny hops. It really almost smells like I took some Simcoe and some Cascade and some Centennial and rubbed them in my hands and sniffed in. Maybe a little bit of Magnum as well, because it's so resiny and so just kind of bitter smelling. From the glass. Yeah, from the glass, it's extremely resinous, very much like you took fresh hops, rolled them in your hands, and snorted in. You can also do the same thing with hop pellets. If you push hard enough and you get them hot enough, you can make them collapse in your hands, and you just get left with the hop residue. When you smell in, you're going to get hit with that resiny, oily, bitter sensation. The alpha acids are going to attack you. And it kind of reminds me of that. I'm not looking forward to this. I try to go into everything as openly as I can, and I was like, oh, let's make fun of them because they're better brothers, and it's 7% alcohol, and I'm not really big on that, but that smell legitimately is not a smell I like. Cheers. I could see a lot of hopheads really enjoy this beer. And that's where I'm going to end that. I could see a lot of hopheads really enjoy this beer. This reminds me of when I'm experimenting with hops and I'm not measuring them out very well and I'm dumping them in at very different times during the boil, going, let's see what I can do. Because it's very resiny, it's very pungent, it's very punchy. It's... Okay, it's 7% alcohol. I wouldn't say there's an alcohol warming. I wouldn't say there's an alcohol astringency. I could smell an alcohol astringency, but if it's there, it's hidden behind the hoppy resininess that just takes over the whole back of the throat. Like sitting right on the back of my palate right now is just hops. Hops and hops and hops. Heaps of hops sitting on the back of my palate going, we're here to stay, motherfucker. And there's nothing you can do about it. And they're right. There's not much I can do about it. This is the way my palate is going to be while I do this. Not... Okay, usually a beer like this I would give under a 5, but there's no brewing faults to it. I just don't like it. Out of 10, I'll give it a straight 5. There's no brewing faults. I just don't like it, and that's perfectly fine. You guys can love it. That's perfectly fine. It's not going to bother me if you really like the beer. I find it bothers you more that I don't like the beer. I've had a few Better Brothers beers now. Some of them have been really good. Some of them surprised me. The thing that surprises me about this one is it does not have an alcohol astringency. I'm legitimately surprised by that. It's not a bad beer. It's just not for me. Thank you, guys. Bye.